This is quite a humbling night, especially when I look out and see this crowd that's here tonight. I do want to recognize my family that's here, and my beautiful wife, Billy Jo, who's here with us, my sister, Barbara, who's with us. You can give for Billy Jo, though. And my two sons, Austin and Garrison, who have also joined the FSU alumni. They both have their master's degree and their undergraduate degrees here at Florida State. And Garrison graduated in August and Austin in 15. And Mike Taylor is one of my co-workers at Greenpoint in Jacksonville. And Mike was here for the real estate conference, and he wanted to stay for the football game, so this was the price of a ticket. Well, for those who have other plans tonight, I've got good news because Max Zahn is here. I saw Max. Max was the last inductee in spring. He took all of our times for our speeches, for his speech. He was outstanding for the first 20 minutes, and it was good. I can't see you, Max, but I know you know it's true. You know, when Max called me, and there's two Maxes here, when Max Allegario called me and told me I'd won this award and was being recognized in this, it really was a stunning moment. And one, especially when I see the other slate of inductees this year, when I saw the wall when I walked in, and it was quite humbling. And I've got to tell you, it's maybe the most nervous I've been in the last few months. Not really worrying that much about my speech, but I keep thinking I'm in Florida, there's got to be a hanging chat or a recount or something coming up soon. So I've refused to answer a call from 850 for the last month to be sure I have this chance of doing that. Max talked a lot about my connection and how really FSU has shaped my life. He was right. I started playing football at University of Tampa, and I realized I was not going to make a living playing football in spite of what I thought. And hard work was not something that was strange to me. We did throw, and my sister helped some too, we did throw papers every morning, help pay bills in our household. But somewhere in that process, I got committed to go and get a degree, get an education, and I was the first one in my family to do so, and came to Florida State. Thank goodness I didn't need Janice back then. It wasn't that hard to get in. Janice would have counseled me to go to TCC, I can promise you. But I was fortunate enough to get in. I jokingly used to say if you could fog a mirror and write a check, you were in. And worked my way through school. Attended bar at Brown Derby for almost 3.5 years, so I'm sure I served a lot of you cocktails at Brown Derby. And I got my degree in accounting. Actually, I started as a criminology major. I remember sitting in one of the classrooms, and there was a graduate assistant teaching. And he had been in the law school, Dean Widener. He'd been in the law school, and he was teaching. And he said, you know, the thing to do is get your undergraduate degree in anything you want to, philosophy, criminology, and then get your graduate degree in what you want to do for a living. And I sat there and thought, that sounded really good, but it wasn't going to work for me. I needed a job when I graduated, so I probably followed the Rick Scott mode. So I went to the counselor and said, what's the best place to get a job? Dean, they sent me to the business school. And then I go to the business school and said, what's the best degree? And they said, it's accounting. So I became an accounting major. My story of life is really how things really aren't very little planned and mostly just happenstance. And that was one of them. I became an accounting major and started at Cooper's Library and was with them in Miami, New York, and have been blessed in a career that was founded on what I learned here at Florida State University to achieve. I couldn't have ever dreamed of having the successes, being involved in civic duties and being involved in things like Florida State University, and never dreamed of that as a child. Matter of fact, I remember dreaming of making $5 an hour. I sat in bed and used to count it up. You know, $5 an hour, 40 hours a week, $200. My life was going to be good. So it was far beyond any dream that I have. And that started at FSU. And, you know, it really is where the root where the trees have sprung from. And Max talked about Monique. I met Monique here at Florida State. She was a freshman. I was a senior. And it took me a long time, about 8 years after that, to convince her to marry me. We finally married in 1986. And we had our two boys, Austin and Garrison. And Max talked about, losing her in a car wreck. We were celebrating our 10-year anniversary in California, and a well drilling truck on the Napa Road, Silverado Trail, had a blowout and hit us head on, and she was killed instantly. And the boys were 5 and 2. They were thankfully not with us. They were back. It was the first time we left them. They were back in Jacksonville, and you can see they've grown up pretty well. So they must have really been good, because I only sort of ruined them a little bit since then. But that started the Monique Burr Foundation. And Max talked about it, but especially in the environment that we're in today, which we're dealing, you see it all the time, and all the abuses. And we teach a program called Child Safety Matters that we teach free to the public schools here in Florida. And now we're in 19 states about how to, it's prevention of all types of abuse, bullying, cyberbullying, and internet safety. And it is an evidence-based program. We've gone through all the testing, and it changes lives. And we've now reached over 3 million kids, and this year alone we'll reach 800,000 kids, and change their lives and give them the tools to keep themselves safe. And we have just launched, and we're piloting this, just announced 2 weeks ago, a pilot program with USA Olympic Committee to pilot a program called Athlete Safety Matters with USA Gymnastics, USA Wrestling, and USA Swimming. And if we're successful, which I'm certain we will be, what you saw at the ESPYs this year at USA Gymnastics, you'll never see again. We want to eliminate the abuses and give the young children the tools they need. And that's something that started when I looked up and saw this beautiful young lady walk in to see my roommate back at Florida State University. So in an indirect way, the tragedy that came out of that relationship that we started at Florida State University has touched millions and will continue to touch millions and make a difference in a lot of lives here and change lives throughout the country. I've had the unique honor to really serve the university in different ways, Boosters Board, Foundation Board, and the last 8 or 9 years as a board member, and the last 4 as the chairman of the Board of Trustees, which has given me a great place to sort of view what I think is a transformational time at Florida State University. I've got to watch, and I was part of the team that hired President John Thrasher and brought his beautiful wife Jean here, and watch the team he's assembled. And many of you are here. I see Lena and Paula that I've got to talk about, who really keep us going at the board of trustees and keep things going. But I see Kyle Clark, and I see Liz, and Amy's here, and I don't see the provost, but I see Rick is here, and a team that's assembled and has, change is often something that people resist, but change at FSU has been a dramatically great thing. When 4 years ago we were ranked 46th in the country among all publics by USA News and World Report, this team that I've been able to watch they have such a passion, such a dedication, such commitment. I sit on a lot of boards. I see a lot of executive teams. There's nothing that compares to the Florida State University executive team, and the faculty, and all the way through, people who care and honor and commit themselves to the betterment of FSU. And as you all just heard, FSU is now ranked 26th in the country, 4 years later, most of which has been in the last 3 years. And by the way, all those universities are trying to get better too. And President Thrasher made a commitment to the state of Florida that you give us the resources, we'll be a top 25 university. And I will promise you this time next year, we will be in the top 25 ranked universities, and you'll be graduates of the top 25 universities in the country. I see David Coburn, who's now wearing 2 hats, chief of staff, and now he's helping with the athletic department, a big part of that success. The change has been felt throughout the state. You all probably know we had over 51,000 kids apply for 6,200 slots last year. This year we're already way ahead of that pace. The admissions department will be busier than ever. We're number 1 in the state for 4-year graduation rate. Number 1 in the state for 4-year graduation rate. And we're ranked in the top 3 for performance funding. This doesn't just happen. This was intentional. This was a reflection of a great administration, a great team, a great faculty, a great staff. And it shows that change can be good. And change has been happening at Florida State, transformational change. And I've had the unique pleasure and honor to serve and be able to watch that. Listen, DeVoe Moore's phone can ring whenever he wants it to. Whenever he wants it to. I'll answer it if you want. DeVoe Moore, That was too loud. That was my timing. That was the hook. I will close by talking about change and the change in lives that Monique's Burr Foundation does, the change that this administration and this great faculty has done at Florida State University. We've had a dramatic change within the last year in our coaching staff for the football team. And I know we're sitting here on the eve of a game against Clemson, and we're not where we want to be. But I had the luxury of and the good fortune of being in a great place to watch that hire as well. And I can tell you, I'm 100% confident that we've got the right guy. And this change will also be good. And we'll reflect back at some point in time and say, well, that was the right change to do at that point in time as well. So I think that's good. Max, thank you for this honor. Alumni Association, thank you for the honor. I will always be humbled by this moment. And there's no way I can ever give back to Florida State University everything Florida State University has given to me. Thank you very much, and go Noles.